Hi everyone, my name is Makole Mupita and I'm co-founder and director of Mahlakwa Financial Services. I run the company with my sister, and we started the company as a dedication to our mother who died when I was 21 years old. She achieved what she could during the apartheid era, and she broke the barriers. So for me, it became normal, and we never thought we should be defined by our circumstances, but rather what we can do and what we can achieve. The industry as a whole is challenging, and it's challenging for women, and it's not a South African thing, right? It's a worldwide thing. When you start a fund, people must allocate the money to you. The people who allocate, the allocators, are mainly men. And as human nature, you allocate to people who look like us. So that is the biggest challenge. The more we have female allocators, the more we have female in decision-making, women in decision-making, the more we will bring other women up. Women have achieved. We've shown that we can achieve. So that's a big shift. The only thing that can stop anyone criticizing is excellence. And we have shown that we are excellent and we can do it. Concrete steps that can be taken to change the status quo is that first, there must be willingness to trust that women can do it, judging women by their efforts and by their excellence instead of by my gender. And also women trusting other women, bringing each other up, and believing that the more of us there are, the more we will make a difference. Think for the girl child that's still growing up, because they need mentors, they need to see excellence and just be more than ourselves.
I think the question of female representation in our industry remains pertinent, especially now as we see that some of that focus is being rolled back. So actually celebrate the fact that Savca is putting this firmly on the agenda and we're talking about this. When I started in the industry in 1998, there was definitely very few women professionals in the industry. Fast forward to 2025, we've seen significant shifts to be celebrated. Not only do we have many women professionals in the industry, deal makers, but we have many founders of businesses adding to the color and vibrancy of our industry, which is really fantastic. Names like IDF, Jade Capital, Heritage Capital, and of course my good friend Jasmine, AIH Capital, and so many others. We celebrate your achievements and what you're doing. It's particularly important that our industry succeeds, that our women professionals succeed, because I have 3 daughters. And I envision a bright future for them, hopefully in the private equity industry. And I think the groundwork that is being laid by our current group of women leaders is absolutely critical. They are the role model for my kids.
From a mentorship perspective, for us at Sonari, it was really pivotal. We had quite a few mentors over the life of our fund, but what was key was really how they directed our thinking, enabled us to walk a journey, unpacked what we needed to do, and really just hold our hand through the entire 10 years. And then sponsorship programs are the next step. So a mentor holds your hand to a point. We were on the FMDP Savca program. When it came to fund formation, understanding legal agreements, drafting a PPM, how an organization needs to work, those were really key for us. So those are important things when you are a first-time fund manager, and really helped us on our journey.
It's been really nice to reflect on the extent of the progress over the past now probably 2 decades that I've been in private equity. And I want to in particular pay tribute to one such female leader who really crafted and laid the path for the rest of us to follow in her footsteps, and that's Polola Teka. And I want to share a story from when I had just started Sonari Capital. We were at a presentation and it was a very big audience, and she had every opportunity to profile IDF and IDF alone. And she made the particular point to call me out in the audience and profile Sonari Capital. Really, it was a matter of months into our establishment. And it's something that I've seen echoed and repeated through the women in our industry around lifting while you rise. And it's something that really stayed with me, and it's something that I see throughout the industry today.
So in 2008, when we started our business, Savca did not have any women-owned fund management firms registered with them as members. And when I recently inquired about the level of female-owned fund management firms representation at Savca, it was close to 30%. So there's definitely been a shift over the past 17 years in terms of female representation. I think the intentionality around having fund manager development plans, which we've seen led by Savca, but also by other investors such as your PIC and other institutions similar to that. That intentionality around going out and seeking potential women-owned fund management firms and taking them through a program and capacitating them has certainly yielded results. I think that's why we're starting to see the shifts and the changes that are coming through in the sector. So I think we should do more of that. The concrete steps I believe we need to take to elevate women in the sector is to also adopt policies and gender equality. And what I mean by that is, just like with the ESG, which is environmental, social, and governance policies and frameworks, most investors insist on ESG frameworks to be implemented by fund managers and by asset allocators. So similarly, I think if our institutional investors can be intentional around ensuring that there's gender lens investing embedded as part of the investment strategy, then we'll start seeing more allocations of capital towards women, and more women will be elevated, not just in the sector, but also in the underlying portfolio companies. Also, I think intentionality around networking amongst women professionals within the sector, doing business together, I think helps us also to grow our footprint, but also to get into the right networks and sit in front of the right faces to get allocations.
In a Savca conference, when I started attending 5 years ago, the room, you could see very few women in the room. Today, when you walk into a Savca conference, not only do you see a reflection of our country, but you're starting to also see greater participation of women who are making it, and you are seeing their successes in the industry. But it gets even better to demonstrate the amount of work that has been done in the recent past, that the CA population in the country of under 35, guess what? Women are 55% of that. Policy is critical in ensuring DE&I. We have been fortunate as a country because even with the number of women-led fund managers that we have seen, it has been driven by the transformation policies in our country, and we saw the financial sector charter being, coming up and being intentional as well in playing in that space. That is how we saw allocation to Black fund managers, to women fund managers, coming up. So we can't underestimate the role that Savca has played in growing women-led fund managers. There are networking sessions where they'll bring all the key industry players and the key stakeholders, be it the fund allocators, be it legal advisors who help put together the structures that are needed, to set up a private equity firm. And also some of the investment committee members who sit and have to evaluate, requests for funding and give us some insights on what actually works and what are those critical success factors in making sure that in fundraising come across very clearly. And so that program that Savca started was quite instrumental in accelerating, development and growth of women fund managers. As women coming in, we are not saying we want to push out, the old men who've been in this industry. We actually need them. And we've seen how some of them are already raising their hands in giving back. We can build an even bigger pie. It is not about women saying we want one small pie to be cut in many pieces. There is actually a lot that we can build together.